to see your face as I talk. But normally I talk to you on Marco Polo. Wait, oh, you can't see it. Can you see it? Can you see the
I
little
mean, I
Marco
can
Polo
see it.
symbol?
Yeah, I can. Well, technically, it's
Oh,
not
okay.
100% Marco Polo symbol because I didn't want to copyright it. So I took it and I kind of flipped it around and added a little brain into it. So it's just a beach ball that resembles Marco Polo because I don't infringe on copyrights because that is a big no-no.
Fair enough.
But we
Fair
get what
enough.
it is. That's the point. We get what it is.
So, so you want to elaborate on why we have a Marco Polo symbol on our lovely background here?
I'd love to elaborate. We would love to elaborate. So Kara and I, we met each other on the internet. Crazy how that works, right? Amazing. And what was it? Our first encounter was through your podcast, The Conquest of Bliss. And honestly, just the conversation that we had there and the connection that was made, it made me feel like there was a lot more. Obviously, there's a lot more. There's always a lot more, but it made me feel like I could actually confide,
Confide. Yeah.
confide. Thanks, confide in you, and to be seen. So then we kind of played again on your podcast, and I was like, all right, this is definitely a person that hears what I'm saying. Let's see if we can dive deeper, and then just kind of establish this friendship. And for me, Marco Polo has been that amazing tool that can create a relationship that isn't forced upon you. Like I'm sure because you've used it yourself for a long time, and you found that, like me, it takes like a lot of the pressure off. It seems like.
Yeah.
So we decided, it was like, hey, let's document this friendship. That's how it started, I
Yeah.
guess.
And I feel like it's such a cool project.
I completely
Yeah.
agree.
And so for anyone who doesn't know what Marco Polo is, it's like a video chat, sort of similar to Snapchat, except for it's live and the videos don't get deleted. So Andre and I started talking on there because, like he said, I've been on Marco Polo for quite a while, and we started talking on there. And this project was born where it was like, hey, what's something I've never seen before is someone documenting a friendship from inception.
Mm-hmm.
So so like the first couple Marco Polos are a little more, I wouldn't say surfacey because I don't think we've ever had a surfacey conversation, but they're not quite as comfortable. And then by like today, it's like talking about super super deep stuff. Like the development of this friendship has been amazing, and because we are both just, I don't even know what you would
Open
call
books.
it.
We're just open books,
Uh,
man. That's it. We're just an open book.
we're like, let's just share it with everybody. It's really a testament to vulnerability and to just the development of a friendship. And the reason I'm going to talk a lot, sorry.
Feel free.
Uh,
We're here
the
to do
reason
this.
that I the reason that I'm so interested in this idea is because going back before I started having my sort of, I don't know, transformation and everything, I remember I would hear about people being friends on the internet, and I kind of always thought like, okay, like friends, like
Mm-hmm.
I never really realized that you could make true deep connections. And it was actually different people, but through Marco Polo that I really was introduced to like these real deep amazing connections that you can make online. One of my best friends who you've met through Marco Polo uh, is in Minnesota, and we've met in person in Texas last year. And so I think that it's really good to show people not only that it's possible, but how it's possible.
Mm-hmm. And that's a huge part of it as well, because we all sit online, especially now. We got nothing else to do but sit online, and I've noticed a big trend where it says millennials don't know how to make new friends, and I don't know how valid this is. I don't know how valid this is, but I keep seeing it. So it's like, hey, if millennials don't know how to make new friends, how about we again just project this, or to show this relationship starting from nothing, and then gauge the progress, or just show the progress. Is like, here, it's not hard to make new friends. It's just like you said, be vulnerable, care about somebody else rather than just yourself, and just reach out. Like, it's all here. Nothing is out of grasp. And I hope that this project is showing just maybe even steps of that vulnerability, of that connection, of what it takes to build something solid and beautiful, the kind of emotional space that you can create in order to make both people feel welcome, seen, loved, appreciated. you know. And again, these are all very simple tactics that you can use for yourself in your own life, in the online world, just to create a better existence, you know. And that's why, like, for me, just being this vulnerable with you, it's so beautiful because I crave it. It's what the soul needs, just to be open and be like, hey, here's this shit that I'm worried about. And I'm like, you know, maybe people hate me for this, and you're like, nah, brah, the people don't hate you for this. This is just who you are. This is your journey. And yeah, maybe you sucked a little bit, but you know, you learn from it, you grow from it, and you're a better person now. And it's so good to just not have that judgment or that weighing over your head, and just being seen, be like, yeah, we're imperfect. We're not freaking, I don't know, superheroes. We can be heroes though. And it starts.
All you need is to have hope.
All you need is to have. That's funny.
That's a reference. You should join Andre's Patreon so you can hear what I'm talking about.
Amen.
But yeah, and I mean, I think that's such a huge point, is just like the vulnerability really helps to combat shame in a huge way. And I mean, like, it's been incredible. I mean, I swear I've told you more things on Marco Polo than some people who've known me for like a decade, just because it's so easy. And like, it's really, I mean, it's one thing that's really cool is, and we've talked about this in Marco Polo, is how much like I mean, I think everybody is a mirror for us to some degree, but like, oh my God, Andre, sometimes it feels like you're just like speaking things out of parts of my brain, and I'm like, holy crap, like, it's just so crazy. And I mean, and it's, for me at least personally, like, really helped with my growth in a lot of ways, because like, one thing, I'm gonna just compliment you now, one thing I really appreciate about you is that you're very, very knowledgeable, well-researched, consistent, because like, especially when it comes to health stuff, I get so lost in the billion different things that people say, and I'm like, I don't know what's right, so like, fuck it, you know. Like, I'm just not even gonna bother. And so when I talk to you, you're like, well, actually, this is how this works, and like, you explain it in a really, so you'll also get health advice.
It's there, you know. Some of my college education comes in handy, I guess, you know. Some of that human body understanding, because I completely agree with you. There's a lot of misinformation in the world, and it's hard to navigate it. Like, there's so much, you know, fake news, right? Because it's easy to consume, and you know, it applies to all of our biases. You know, we find something that we resonate with. Oh, there it is, and we take it. But you know, like, for me, I stopped a while ago just even searching information up, like, out in the world. Obviously, you know, if you want to go into like PubMed or just read some scientific journals, there's information there that can give you an idea of what to do with it. But again, everything comes down to who you are and what you know and what your experiences are. And I try to prove things to myself rather than take information from other people. So when I talk to you about, like, at least the health advice, it's just from my own understanding of how the body works and what is happening inside of it, and how that can be applied to the expression of how this body can maintain its, you know, homeostasis and its well-being, you know. So that's fun.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and I guess that's like kind of further to what I was saying, is that, like, I mean, so I do like, so the fasting, for example, I went and I looked at the National Institute of Health, and there's a lot of lines drawn between fibromyalgia relief and fasting, right? So like, I mean, it's researchable. And the other thing though is like, I never feel like it's pressure. You're like, hey, this is the information I have, but you're not like,
you have to act on it right now.
Yeah. Or like, you're somehow less for not having, the same understanding of the world. I mean, there's so few things that I haven't agreed with you on. It's wild. But, when those few things have occurred, I've never felt judged. I've never felt like, it's a problem. And anyone who's interested in knowing all sorts of deep and, interesting secrets about, not secrets, but, the things that don't come up about Andre and I, it's insane. The number of like just topics that you just never cover in normal, I never cover in other conversations, even doing a podcast. And so I definitely think that this project is worth checking out.
I completely agree.
I don't think we've even said what it's called.
Oh, it's called Friends with Internet.
Internet.
Friends with Internet. because everybody can be friends with the internet, you know. It doesn't stop between you and I think it's beautiful that you said that, because you know what I've been looking for a really long time is it's that depth, you know. I know I like there's depth in this world, and you can dive into anybody to an infinity of, I don't know, levels. But you know, you can never truly know somebody, so you can find an individual that you can connect with. You can really just start diving into the depths of their soul, and this was the opportunity to do so. This is what it is for me, just being able to see somebody on so many different levels, so many different layers that otherwise, yeah, you don't get a chance to experience on a daily conversation, because you know, maybe you talk for a half hour with this random person, or maybe even just maybe you're friends, but then when you're friends for years, you kind of even maybe forget that you're individuals, and you forget to dive into each other's, you know, maybe stories, why you behave the way you behave, and you don't even get to experience these chats, you know. So I found this incredibly beautiful in order to be able to dive into the depths of both myself and you, and just really experience what it is, I mean, to be human, you know, like just humanity.
Well, and I mean, yeah, so much, yes. And I don't know if you do this intentionally, but I intentionally, like, if I'm feeling vulnerable and like this could turn into shame, like last night,
Mm-hmm.
um the I immediately, the first thing I want to do is like, okay, I'm going and I'm telling Andre, I'm recording this moment in my life when I felt vulnerable
Mm.
and afraid and stuff like that. And it's, you know, it's partly because I just trust you so implicitly, and also partly because I'm experimenting with show it all, you
Mm-hmm.
know. um and it's one of the beautiful things about Marco Polo. It's something that you mention in our chats, is that it's this, we get to talk to each other while also talking to ourselves, because the format is so self-reflective. So, you know, like, I mean, I've got my list of things to respond,
Yeah.
because to respond to, but you know, so it's a very unique form of conversation,
Mm-hmm.
you know, where you're not talking over each other, you're not, you know, you're not listening, or you're not waiting to talk instead of listening, you know, you're fully engaged in that moment. And it's just, it's so, I want to say magical, but I feel like I use that word too much.
Because it's true, because it is magical, you know. Again, in this world where it's very easy to just get lost in what I want, what I need you to do, and what we've been taught, I mean, through even just school, you don't learn to listen. You never learn to listen. You learn to listen enough to respond, or no, not respond, to interject and be like, here's what I think, you know, instead of just listening to just listen. And then when we do have a conversation, when it comes to be, you know, half hour and an hour of just me looking at you talk and ruminate about certain ideas, and again, me just being there as you know, in the, almost, you know, just holding a space of love, right, to allow you to get to where you need to be without me saying, oh, but what about this, and what about this, and da 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 da, right? Because we can interject, but at the same time, all the answers that we need are already inside of us, and it's so loving and giving to just allow that to expand on its own, because it's this process of introspection. It's something that, well, first of all, you don't need other people to do it once you learn how to do it yourself. But when you can do it with somebody else, and that you can be in the process of introspection with somebody else that doesn't have an agenda or an expectation or anything, that is our ultimate, I don't know, place of being free. It's just the ultimate freedom, you know. It's beautiful is what I'm
It
saying.
really is. It just like, it brings me so much joy. And I, like, I can't stop thinking about like how it's definitely something unique, because like, I feel like there's a lot of quote unquote reality TV or reality media out there, but the focus is so often on drama
Yeah.
or on like negativity and stuff. And I mean, I don't know many people who are more about love and kindness, love and kindness and happiness than you and I, you know. So it's like reality TV show, but like in the fucking Twilight Zone, you know. Like,
Wholesome
where
shit.
instead of it's like, oh, I can't believe you did this, it's like, I love you and I'm going to hold space for you and help you process, you know. And I just think that's beautiful and unique, maybe groundbreaking, even because I'm an arrogant asshole. But
I will give it to you.
a lot of oh, I guess there is a lot of giggling on my part, as always. Anyone who follows me knows that that's part of the course. but less so if my giggling annoys you, less so because I'm usually laughing as I watch Andre. And then I mean, of course, I laugh at my own jokes, but less giggling.
Oh, that's too good. That is too good. I think we should add a little more laughter. Maybe I can edit it in the background. Just be like, because I too also laugh at my own jokes. Because why not? If you don't laugh at your own jokes, are you really alive? Are you?
Well, and the way I see it is only one person has to find it funny. Why can't that person be me? You know,
Exactly.
like that's the way
Exactly.
humor works.
And you know, if you're actually reaching deep inside and making a joke that can move you into so much delight, chances are you're gonna move somebody else into that same delight. So you know what? You're just being authentic, which is another
Yeah.
thing this is about, just authenticity and showing the world who we are, which is beautiful.
And definitely definitely neither of us are pretending to be or have been perfect at any
Oh no.
point.
I mean, just this last message we sent to each other, I was just like, "Oh, you're worried about getting a speeding ticket?" I was like, "Well, let me tell you about all the bullshit I did when I was younger about almost killing myself and others inside of a vehicle."
Yeah, yeah, and it's I mean my speeding ticket was yesterday, but
Yesterday doesn't
but
exist either.
yeah, that's true, the past is the past. I
Yeah.
mean, eh,
And like
uh,
you were even saying, like you learn from it, and that's all that it's there for. You something happens, you're like, oh my gosh, it's there, and it happened, and then you put it on yourself, you accept responsibility, and you say, all right, how do I want this to happen again? Probably not. And then you're like, all right, lesson learned. Fuck past Kara, like you said, fuck her, dumbass bitch. Kara right now is fucking enlightened, bro.
that's basically my mantra is like that's later Kara's problem or fuck past Kara. Uh,
Oh, amen.
Hmm. um, but yeah, so I mean, obviously the point of this live is to just let you guys know what we're doing. We made a little post, but it didn't explain well what we're doing.
Hmm.
So I mean, I don't know if it was Andre's idea or my idea. I don't no idea. But at some point, one of us was like, let's do a live. So
And
here
that's
we
what we're
are.
doing. We're doing the live. Yeah, no, I completely agree. And this is a very good way to just to capture the heart and soul of the project. To just again to just share that connection. If somebody doesn't have that connection, because I know we all love to listen. I know I love to listen. Just people talk, a conversation, whatever. Because then I don't know if it's a deep ingrained desire of everybody to just talk less and listen more. Just because that's where the connection comes. I get sick and tired of talking, honestly. Like I love talking. Don't get me wrong. I'll talk forever. But at the same time, just regurgitating the things that I know or the things that I've learned, it's much more um, rewarding to just sit there and be like, yeah, I know what's going on with me. What's going on with you? What's your world like? What's your universe like? And then just experiencing a freaking land that you've never even seen before. And that's every single person that we meet. So like, even though for me, like we're recording this one, I take these principles everywhere to every single person that I meet and have these sort of deep conversations. Because why would you put any limitations on anybody, right? Like this, I just want to see your entire universe and what it is to you without me interjecting it or manipulating it or controlling it. It's like, who are you? And I want to see that. There's so much beauty in just the individual.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm a keen observer as well,
Hmm.
and and I mean, and even if like I love to try to understand people, and I mean I fail pretty fucking hard all the time, but I like to try, and it's beautiful, and it also I mean if you want to look at more selfish motives, it helps to grow us. I mean, even someone who's completely opposite to you, there are going to be so many parallels that you wouldn't know existed if you can't find that space in yourself to really listen and observe. I mean, and I mean, so I definitely haven't gone as deep with most of the people that I know, but I tend to do that too. I tend to have very deep conversations. I tend to really try to help people process and stuff like that. That's just kind of my nature as well. So it's I don't know, it's so cool. I'm so excited.
Me too. Me too. And we couldn't do this without what was it? Anchor. Anchor's beautiful. I love Anchor. The fact that I can just take the videos from Marco Polo and just drop it into Anchor, and then they're there. Like I got a whole episode. You don't have to think too hard. So like Anchor, thank you. And yeah,
Yeah.
Marco Polo. awesome. The fact that it doesn't delete anything, so just kind of keep it raw and unedited and just kind of free flowing, as real as you're gonna get it. It's as if you're sitting there in the room as, again, just like the third friend who's listening to the two friends kind of talk about themselves. And believe me and believe Kara, you will find yourself in our conversations. We talk about, just real things that we all feel, like our faults, our insecurities, our hurts, the pasts that made us feel X, Y, and Z. Everything that anybody else has gone through. We talk about it, and we try to. I mean, we don't try to. We fucking love it. We love everything because those occurrences got us to the place that we are today. And you know what? I wouldn't trade anything for the person that I am today, and I will never do that because I love the person that I've become, and all the mistakes that I've made to become this person. They're so worth it. They were the golden bricks that I used to lay the stairway to become, I don't know, to come here. I hope you like that imagery.
The golden bricks.
Golden bricks.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna fuck around. Most of the time,
Kara, don't
I
fuck
have no
around.
regrets. I'd say like maybe 5 or 10% of the time I'm like, why was my life the way it was? But most of the time I definitely fall into the same category. I mean, it can be hard to not slip, but that's kind of the beauty of it, right? Is that it's a process. Like going from I want to say like the standard American culture, or Canadian, or whatever, the standard North American culture way of thinking, hyper principled, but the principles mean nothing. In reality, that kind of stuff. Going from that to someone who has freedom is a process. And I kind of think it's cool that I'm not where I'm hoping to be soon as far as that process, because then people can see it and see that it's like, most of the time I'm good, and then some days I'm just a freaking mess. And I just want to clarify in case anyone got confused. So at this point, audio only. At this point, there are Marco Polo videos that maybe we'll release someday, but right now it's audio only.
Audio only, podcasts, streaming platforms all over the world, Anchor, Spotify, iTunes, wherever else you stream your podcasts, it's all available. And it's like, I think, like you said, I think it's something very beautiful and very useful and very valuable to people, just to even be in presence of the, I don't know, just the permission to be imperfect, and that is the beautiful thing. Just being a place where you have your permission to be imperfect with all of your flaws and your demons and your pains and your just anything you can break down, because I've broken down. I look forward to breaking down more because I love it, and being having somebody there to share that with. It's rich, it's beautiful, You don't have to contain it anymore. You can just be free, continue to release it, continue to just turn yourself over, and then find yourself on the other side of whatever it was, So I find it beautiful and thankful that I have this opportunity, and I hope that other people take advantage of this, because it don't come around too often, it seems like.
So accurate. So accurate. And like I love sharing the process with people. I love, like I said, now when I'm feeling vulnerable and like I'm breaking down, my first thought is record it. and that was not the case before, but I feel like there's value in, like you said, allowing yourself to be free and learning to become less attached to the outcome and more present in the journey. Because man, is that a huge trap that I have got caught up in so many times. Like, this thing's good, so it has to go like this. Like, and what's a beautiful lesson that I learned is, if I had at almost any point gotten what I thought I wanted, my life would suck. But considering that, like the universe is going to decide for me whether I like it or not, so I may as well just like it. I may as well just like it.
And that's definitely something that we also try to talk about. Just loving what you got. Love what you got. The more love, there's a quote. It's not a quote. It's a lyric from Regina Spektor. I love her so much. She's one of the greatest musicians. I swear. And it's not because she's Russian. Not at all. But she does have some fire Russian songs that tell you that. Love them. But there's this one song that she talks about, just secret of life, no big deal. And she says, find the things you like, love the things you took, and then you have more love. It's something like that. I'll send you the song. I'm sure you'll appreciate it.
I would love that. And while I have you in this format,
Okay.
and you don't have to say yes. Can you teach me how to say I love you in Russian?
Yeah. Go ahead. You can copy.
Can you teach me?
Yeah.
Oh, you say yeah? Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the first lesson.
Yeah.
Тебя.
What?
Тебя.
Тебя.
Люблю.
Lublю.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, тебя.
Люблю.
Lublю.
Люблю.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So now everybody knows how to say I love you in Russian.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. Forever they will.
Yeah, тебя люблю. Okay. I mean, I'm probably pronouncing it super bad, but I appreciate your grace.
Honestly, pretty decently. Like, not horrible at all. It's pretty good. Yeah,
it's all that studying I've done. I've gotten like 4 letters into the alphabet now.
Yeah, you definitely can't write it, I tell you that. But you can say it. That's okay.
I can write the je sound. Check it out.
Yeah, you can.
Right? This is right?
Yep, there's an X with a stick in the middle. You got it.
It's my favorite character, because we don't have it in English, and it makes me mad all the time.
There's a lot of letters that we have that you guys wish you had, because you put it together with letters to combine them. We got a letter for that alone. Z and I don't remember anymore, but they're there. But yeah, you can see that we can do this, and we do this for hours, for all the time. This isn't even a thing. Like, we're just like, whatever, right? But we're already up to published 14 hours of conversation. I think 10 episodes. That was the first season, and now I think we're already caught up with that in the archive on just Marco Polo that I just gotta download and re-release. So we might be already on our season 2, basically. So I definitely hope that people are interested enough to come and just listen into the conversation and extract whatever value they will find, because I think I found a lot of value in it. And I hope that other people do so as well.
Me too. I find so much value in it. It's like one of my favorite things. I mean, okay, they're all my favorite things, let's be real, but still, I'm having so much fun, and we're doing it Netflix style. So we're dropping a season at a time. So if you're a binger, it's perfect.
It's there. I mean, right now you can binge on 14 hours, and then boom, you're gonna binge on another 14 hours, or maybe
you
more.
got a road trip and you want to feel like you intimately know Andre and I. Boom.
Or honestly, just intimately know humanity, because I mean, we like to talk about a lot of philosophical issues as well, just like what it means to be human, and just love. Like, for me, everything that I do, everything that I say is more of an example of if somebody can step into that mindset, they can feel the same way and do the same things that I can. There's nothing special about me. I just put a lot of time into meditation, into just exploration of who I am, and I am not the body or the experiences that it collects. I am something much deeper, and that depth is shared among every single individual. So it's not something like, oh, learn about Andre and Kara, because yeah, you will, but at the same time, you learn about yourself. That is what's going to happen. Learn about yourself.
Okay, fair enough. You're right.
Yeah. Smack talk.
I mean, why not both? But okay. Yeah, no, we wax philosophical a lot. And it's really cool. Like, I'm going to give you a sneak peek of season 2. One topic that we talk about is, who is this proverbial Satan? You want to know more of what that might be? Yeah, check it out.
We've talked about Satan. Yeah. And then first season's got sex, I think. We're talking about sex and...
Yeah. We talk.
Oh, and music. I've performed for you. You've performed for me. There's music on there. Like, it's so real. It's just so beautiful. Ugh. Yeah. We just came. That was it. That's what just happened.
Oh, and a fucking time jump. I'm not kidding. It was so crazy. It's like the best thing in the world. It's like my favorite thing.
There are a lot of things to look forward to, and I definitely hope you jump in it.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? We're not gonna spoil any of the surprises. I hope you go in there. Uh, let you know
We're
the.
the worst for that.
I know we spoiled all the surprises. The first episode begins with more of just the consent and talking about putting this show together and putting it on. And there's a lot of conversation to talk about even about this show, and then it's just real life. So jump in there, listen to it. Maybe even just do it before you go to bed, so you can just plug it in. You don't necessarily have to like follow along, but the words will come in, and you'll feel what you need to feel. It's a very just long, long form conversation that is there for your enjoyment.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I enjoy it,
Oh, I enjoy it too.
regardless of the outcome. So
Exactly. Like like if nobody listens to, which I rarely check the numbers, which I haven't still, even though you asked me to. I will. But yeah, even if nothing comes of it, like the fact that you and I get to have this space, get to share this space and this experience, it has been so beautiful, and it's definitely like it's such an amazing way to create a relationship, Because like I remember back in the past, a younger, more naive, more shittier version of me, and I'm not judging like shitty or not, just the way I felt about
less
myself.
developed and
Well, yeah, just the way I felt about myself and the world was not one that was a benefit to neither myself or the world. So, I mean, yeah, maybe shitty is judgmental, but something that wasn't pleasant to be. Um, I thought long distance relationships or just even friendships, they were almost a waste of time because like, what can you do over the phone, or what can you do like over the distances? You're always going to miss out on something. And the fact that I find myself somewhere like here where I can extract such deep, amazing moments just through a box, through a computer, in a connection, an internet, the Ethernet cable, is amazing. Is amazing.
oh, that reminds me, the song, by the way, Andre wrote this song. Fantastic. So good. So good. And I'm not going to spoil it.
You will be greeted. Yeah, if you just want to hear the song, you can hear it at the beginning of every episode. So I mean, just click on an episode that is titled very loosely, because when I drop the episode, I'm just like, what did we talk about? Compassion. All right, compassion. What else did we talk about? Love. All right, love. So honestly, the titles of the episodes are very loose at what is inside of them, but you will definitely find those things in the episode.
Yeah. I mean, it's so free flowing that trying to name, I mean, I am unendingly grateful for the I don't know, work that you've put in to it, because I mean really all I do is just chat with my friend. I've got it fucking made. um I just chat with my friend and get to learn more about you. I mean, I honestly, you're so interesting. Your thoughts are very interesting.
Thank you. I find them very interesting as well, and I'm happy I could share because I extract value from that as well. Just like, ooh, what is this interesting thing just came out of me? Because it's half the time it's new to me too. I was like, whoa, I've never said it in that way. That sounds good. So I mean, it's for me. I mean, conversation. It's tennis. And we know at the end somebody's either going to win or lose in tennis, but in conversation it's just the development of the idea. It's gonna get over
builds.
there, build, yeah, there you go, boom 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 boom. It just build momentum, build action, build excitement. And I'm there for the build, for the process, because the process is life, the process is the art, it's the process.
So many accents and voices. We get pretty silly sometimes. Yeah. Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
I'm so like verklempt, like just when I think about it, it's just such an exciting process and project, and I get to do it with someone who I respect deeply. And so it's very cool.
Thank you. I feel the same way. And at that point, we're going to cut it there and force you to go listen to the podcast, because there's plenty of this where this came from. So, yeah, goodbye, listeners and friends and future, I don't know, people who we want to connect with.
Yes.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Stop.